Welcome to the Curci House, built by Florida pioneer Frank Anthony Curci and his wife Rosina. They call their Mediterranean-style home Villa Providence. Frank Curci was born in 1875 in Bordeaux, France. Frank was educated in music and language and spoke 5 fluently. Later he studied horticulture, the science of plant growing. His instrument was the violin, and he traveled around the world as a member of the Sousa Orchestra. He performed at New York City's Madison Square Garden and at the opening of Henry Flagler's Royal Palm Hotel beside Biscayne Bay. On a trip to England in 1894, he met Rosina Curci. 2 years later, they were married and made their home in Cuba. When the Spanish-American War erupted, the couple moved to Key West, where Frank was in the mercantile business while still playing the violin.
Frank, in his travels around Florida to find a suitable farming area, settled on Hallandale. And he also told the children that someday the Hallandale area will look just like the French Riviera.
In 1907, Frank purchased this home for $1,000 in Hallandale at 5th Street and Dixie Highway. They were a family of 5 with 3 children. Frank hung up his violin and became a farmer with 15 acres of citrus and avocado trees. Later, Frank and Rosina acquired 100 more acres, including beachfront property. Once a month, Frank would pack up his family at 3 a.m. and set off for a day-long shopping trip to Miami. He also became a business owner. The Curci store sold furniture and had rooms to rent above. During World War I, he served as a National Guardsman. In 1924, the family, which grew to 11 children, built their dream home. It was constructed of concrete with terracotta block walls, date pine floors, and imported tile throughout. In 1926, a great hurricane hit. Betty, the 8th child, was a young teenager.
We had at least 16 people in the kitchen area and breakfast room.
And that was during one of the big storms, do you remember?
1926. The roof went off, and the plaster came down, and the house was just sopping wet. It was the worst storm we ever had.
The home has 5 bedrooms upstairs to accommodate Frank, Rosina, and the children, and downstairs a living room, parlor or music room, and a large dining room. 2 of Frank's sons, John and Ted, established Curci Brothers Trucking in 1935. Frank and Rosina lived in the home until the early 1950s. In 1946, they celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary.
All right, here I am, the old man talking. 1875 was born, and today I celebrate my 50th golden wedding.
I'm certainly glad it's my 50th anniversary, and God bless all my children. I'm glad to have them all around me.
Rosina died in 1959, and Frank a year later. Over the years, Villa Providence became a boarding house, a nursing home, the Hallandale Sanatorium, and the Sri Naranda Yoga Center, run by Dr. Edith Epstein, an Orthodox Jewish grandmother turned Swami.
I met Swami Naranda in 1983, and she had lived here from 1976 till her death in 1994. It was a yoga center which we called an ashram. An ashram is a spiritual center where we have a guru, our teacher, food, and access to health care. So she had a yoga class every Monday night. We had yoga out on the grass, and it was very beautiful under the trees. We had beautiful mango trees. The fireplace room is what we called it. On cold nights, she would sleep there on the floor in front of the fire. I mean, there was no heat in the house. So, and people lived here. They would rent rooms, and there were people who actually lived in tents on the grounds, and so everybody would huddle in front of the fire when it was cold.
In the 1990s, the house fell into disrepair, was abandoned, and boarded up. In 2003, real estate developer Richard Shan acquired several acres of land on which he would construct homes. The parcel of land included Villa Providence. Ed Pickett, a local contractor and history buff, was driving down 2nd Avenue.
I noticed a zoning petition here for the Curci House to be rezoned, and it was being rezoned as multiple, and this is a residential area.
Ed Pickett prompted the city to negotiate with Richard Shan, who dedicated the property to the city for the purposes of restoration.
Floors were shot, the roof was leaking, the basement was full of junk. It was just a total mess from the people that were in it before. It wasn't so bad that it needed to be demolished, but it was very easily restored.
On May 2nd of 2006, city officials and members of the Curci family assembled for a groundbreaking ceremony for restoration. Villa Providence was certainly shovel-ready. The home's interior had to be completely gutted. The firm of Heritage Architectural Associates drew up plans, and the work proceeded under the watchful eye of Ed Pickett and the Hallandale Beach Historic Preservation Board. 4 years after groundbreaking, the restored Curci House was dedicated.
First historic property that the City of Hallandale Beach has fully restored and is now a public park. And that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
80 members of the extended Curci family from across the country joined the Hallandale community to celebrate. State and county historic organizations have honored the restoration. And in 2014, Villa Providence was declared a historic site by the prestigious National Trust for Historic Preservation. The second floor is not open for tours. At the top of the stairs is the original and only bathroom. On its walls are Spanish tile, now restored. The 4 bedrooms now hold the archives of the City of Hallandale Beach. Enjoy your tour of the restored downstairs. Only a few of the furnishings are from the Curcis. Others are authentic to the period this house was occupied by Frank, Rosina, and the Curci children. Thank you for coming to visit.